www.L.G.Fitness-Messiah.com is my website. I have a link below on my YouTube channel, link to Own Your Own Science, my Zulu workout, and a link to my web page with some more information. I have notes today. We're going to talk genetics. I am a genetically anointed, gifted athlete. I've been that way ever since I was a little child. My mother and father genetics combined has made me one of the best genetic specimens of an athlete in my family, which I have a bloodline of world-class athletes in my family, D1 wrestlers, football players, all-state, super state. So my genetics and my family genetics for athletic adaptation, strength, speed, agility, power is second to none. Now, I'm not very tall. I'm 5'9", so my father is shorter than me and my mother is shorter than me, so I did grow taller than my father and mother. But I do have cousins that are 6'1", 6'2". My grandfather was 5'11", 6 foot on my mom's side. Now, I say all these things because athletic ability, muscle fiber, things that are turned on and off, genetic codes, is based on the genetics you inherit. Brain power, lean body mass, a lot of different things is based on your genetic code. Genetic code is being tampered with on a cellular level by dietary nutrition nowadays and medications. So genetic markers are being turned on, being turned off, and it may be some of the things that are in the air with chemtrails. It may be some of the things that they're putting in the food. It may be some of the things that they're putting in the water. But it is definitely destroying or limiting genetic superiority as far as genetic code from an athletic standpoint, from a mental standpoint, from a lot of different standpoints. When you understand there is a genetic war on your genetics, then you can take proper precaution to protect your only true inheritance, your genetic code that you pass on. That's how human and animal and life in itself evolves on this planet. Man has tempered and is changing the genetic makeup of different individuals. That brings me to what it is that I want to talk about, is adaptation genetically on a cellular level. Now, someone may have great genetics that opens them up to be 6'11", so that makes you prone to be a basketball player. Or someone may have great genetics that allows them to be a great defensive back, running back, tight end. All types of different genetic codes with proper training, instruction that can actually tap into the full potential of those genetic codes. Great sprinters and lots of things alike. Most young people and most people really don't get an opportunity, and I see this walking through this world on a daily basis, do not get an opportunity to truly tap into their genetic code because they are being force-fed foods and basically rewriting their cellular genetic makeup on a cellular level with hormone different spikes and hormones in different things that basically throw off their whole genetic makeup of where they would be more conscious, more physically dominant, more leaner, less body fat, not have different diseases and stuff going on. These things are becoming prevalent in today's society. Once again, I believe it's because of the environmental inputs as far as foods, being genetically spiced, GMOs, chemtrails, things in the soil, the way that the FDA regulate the Food and Drug Administration regulates the different types of foods, different manufacturers. So there is a whole bunch of different principles that we basically have to live with and live under that they don't do in other countries. You know, some things that they sell in the United States, foods and FDA practices, it would never fly in Europe and other countries. And you have to look outside the United States to see that, man, how come they're not doing this in Europe? How come they're not doing this in France or Paris? How come these foods are banned, like sugars and other different stuff are banned in those countries? Because they have an understanding that it destroys genetics. Now, my Zulu workout, which I'm going back to it, is a genetic rebuilding workout, meaning what is required from it is an evolutionary adaptation on a cellular level of your body without having to really know great lifting techniques, great powerlifting techniques, great form. It's just a couple of key things that you have to know that will cause your body to respond as it has always or as human bodies have responded throughout our existence, and have to make adaptations under stressful genetic environments for the preservation of the species or the race. That's when you know that regardless of what environmental influence is being pumped into you, you can still be at your particular best in those bad circumstances. We live in bad circumstances when it comes to food, when it comes to transparency or what is inside foods or what the government is actually doing, water, all these different things where people are being affected genetically. But we have always lived in those type of environments, be it the elements, be it animals, be it harshness of the climate, and humans have adapted, made adaptations physically because we can view and we had to adapt for survival. It is so hard to do it now in this particular time and age because we are bamboozled and lulled to sleep with complaciveness and technology. So we don't have to fight the physical or make the physical adaptations unless we choose so, because we don't run into too many bears on the street, and most of us don't live in a stressful where we have to catch food, environmental type lifestyle that's going to make the body adapt and make these adaptations so that we can be healthy going forward. No one knows what the certain GMOs and hormones and things are going to do. We can have a theory or go theoretically speaking about these particular things, but we will not know the repercussions in our society for about 15, 20 more years. And it may be catastrophic, especially to young people, because you can just look at the pattern of things that are happening. But even in saying that, if you place your body in a harmful interpretation of the environment, you have a above average chance of making adaptations that will combat diseases, GMOs, growth at the best that it can combat that. We all face most of those circumstances because we don't grow our own food, and we are at the mercy of the FDA and the people that create and grow the food. But we can be our best form of our human self by making